listening to A Balanced Juggle, helping women find balance in managing it all while achieving their own personal goals. Hello and welcome to another episode of, you guessed it, A Balanced Juggle. Whoop whoop! Yes, episode number 2, in fact. So I want to talk about something that recently happened in our household. So my husband comes to me the other day and he's like, have you noticed the toilet seats are blue? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The toilet seats are blue. So I go upstairs to the master bathroom and I notice, I'm like, holy crap, the toilet seats are blue. And then I come downstairs and I'm looking at the bathroom downstairs and they're blue again. And I'm wondering to myself, well, the girls and I did a video the other day that included food coloring. So I'm wondering, dang, are these girls like rubbing food coloring? I mean, what's going on? I mean, how could the toilet seats be blue? So a few more days pass and it's getting darker. And what's the first thing we mommies do when we need something, at least this mommy does, when something needs to be clean and otherwise can't be wiped off with just, regular cleaners? We Clorox it. That's right. I brought out that Clorox, girls. And it didn't work. It wasn't coming off. And my husband was like, well, we've got to change the toilet seats, but there's no answer as to why they're blue. And then a couple of days pass and he comes to me. He's like, Lena, I think that's your imprint. And I looked at him and immediately stopped. And before I responded to him, I had to take a moment to play, sometimes when someone says something to you, you kind of have a few clips play out in your head of yourself drop kicking somebody before you actually kind of respond. Yeah, that's what I did. I had to stop to just imagine myself drop kicking him because just having the audacity to accuse me and of that being me. I mean, how could that be, right? I mean, who the hell leaves a imprint on the toilet? I mean, he's like, well, are you wearing new jeans, etc.? I'm like, no, I'm not wearing new jeans. I wear yoga pants the majority of time, or workout pants, or what have you. We noticed it, and then he's like, I really think that's your imprint. So I was like, I don't think so. So I did a sit-down test, and it might as well have been a friggin' fingerprint. It was an exact match. It was just there. I couldn't deny it, unfortunately. So he was right. Ding for my husband. And now I was left with the notion that I'm turning into a Smurf. The universe just likes to play with us in that way, doesn't it? So first of all, the universe is like, guess what, chick? You are diabetic. You've got to slow it down. You've got to find ways to better yourself while handling it all. We all do. I'm not unique in that boat. But now you're turning your toilet seats blue. You have a blue residue excreting from your pores. So I started to, of course, do the practical thing. I Googled, and I was amazed. I was amazed at what I found. And what I found is coming up next. So before we get back to the mystery of the blue toilet seat, I wanted to bring you guys into a little bit of a debate that my husband and I are having right now. So I want to print some t-shirts for A Balanced Juggle, some promotion swag, if you will. And so I did a full mock-up of the graphic, and I thought it would be so neat to put a hashtag, because hashtags are so in right now. Everything, everywhere you turn, it's a hashtag, building a trend, etc., yada, yada, yada. I thought it would be nice to develop a hashtag for A Balanced Juggle. And the one that I came up with was an acronym. Hashtag ABJ, A Balanced Juggle. So I did the mock-up and emailed it to my husband, who was sitting in the next room. And I know he checked his email. So I hear him laughing, and he comes to me. He's like, honey, we can't use this. We cannot use this on swag. And I'm like, why? I think it's an effective marketing strategy. We have the graphic of the beautiful woman in the hand, the stars going around her, well balanced, and then hashtag ABJ on the bottom. And he goes, no. He's like, this is not going to work. He's like, you don't want to use ABJ, hashtag ABJ. And I'm like, I just don't get where you're coming from. What are you talking about? ABJ, A Balanced Juggle. I seriously did not see it. This man had to break it down to me. So this is where I need your help. We're going to take this over to abalancedjuggle.com, and I want your comments and feedback on whether or not, if you saw a hashtag with an acronym ABJ, would your mind automatically take you to that? Just saying. Or is my husband, who is my rock, just unique in that way? I look forward to hearing from you. Head over to abalancedjuggle.com to the blog section. I'll have something set up there with today's episode, and you're more than welcome to comment and leave your feedback. I will certainly weigh that into our final decision. All right, getting back to the mystery of our blue toilet seat. Well, I did Google, and I hope you're sitting for this. Google was inconclusive. Cue gasp now. Yeah, there was no confirmed information available anywhere on the web besides sporadic reports of people actually leaving a blue imprint on their toilets, especially women. Some of them were due to new clothing like jeans, etc., but some of them did have warranted medical issues. So I started to take notes, and I started to look all over the place. There was nothing conclusive on WebMD or any of the other reputable websites one would go to for medical advice. So I started to read up all these other blog posts and made a list of indications that one has with leaving a blue imprint. The number one pronounced symptom was pregnancy, because the change in a woman's pH balance and I guess whatever. And then the second was schizophrenia. That didn't make me too happy. And then the others were just, different levels, hormone, acidity, etc., that occurs in one's body. The majority of reports I saw online were from women. Now, if you guys listening out there know of a guy, or if you are a guy listening that experienced this, please email me or comment on our blog if you got any more information on this. So anyways, I took this information, I took this knowledge in my back pocket, and I made that doctor's appointment. And I was going there well equipped, or as equipped as I could be based on my own research, to talk to my doctor about it. So I get there, I get in the room, and she's like, hey, how are you doing? And, she's asking me about, taking the medication and how I'm feeling. I'm like, I'm doing great, but we've noticed that I'm leaving a blue imprint on the toilets in my house. And of course she looks at me with this blank stare. She's like, I'm sorry, what? And I repeat myself, and she goes, I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to look that up. So I'm sitting there thinking, geez, I hope she's not Googling it. So I go down the list, and she took notes from my notes and said she would look into it. She also asked me, to think back what changes I made. And of course, the only change I made was taking the metformin now, because that's what she prescribed. But I also did my own research at the beginning of all of this and started to, make changes in my diet, try to eat cleaner, removed all the sugar. She's like, oh, that's great. And then she said, well, what else are you doing different? Are you using any new lotions, new detergent, anything that's, that we feel could affect your body's response system? And I nothing changed besides those few things, and being active more, which she said, again, shouldn't have an effect on this. And then it dawned on me on the way home after my visit. I read somewhere that lemon can reduce the levels of sugar in one's body. So what I started doing every night was taking a baby lemon, and I blend it up in my NutriBullet, and I strain it and mix it with just a little bit of honey, very little bit of honey, and I drink it every night before I go to bed. And I've been doing that religiously for weeks. And then it dawned on me that doing that obviously changed the acidity levels and pH balance in my body, which caused my body to react in a way that it excreted, I don't know what the hell it excreted, but when it interacted with the toilet seat, it became blue. And I started to research more online when I got home and over the following few days, and I actually found a post from another random person, that actually commented, and I'll put the link in the show notes, that confirmed when the acidity and pH balance of your body changes, that could be a side effect of it. So I stopped the lemon for a while, and after like a few days, it stopped. We had to change all of our toilet seats, and they're all normal color to this day. So mystery solved, I guess. So after I figured this out, I ended up calling the doctor a few days afterwards to let her know. She didn't advised that I come off the lemon. She didn't feel that it would have any significant impact on my health besides having a blue toilet. She said it was actually rather healthy for me to drink the lemon juice or blended lemon every night. I, on the other hand, did end up stopping that regimen just because I don't want blue toilet seats, and I'm just not comfortable with giving off some type of blue Smurf residue. It's just, not in the cards for me. I do try to take it once or twice a week. Sometimes that doesn't even happen. But the big picture is here, ladies. What we put into our bodies at a certain amount or rate does have an effect, because I think personally I did overdo it with the lemon. Now that I've had a chance to process this information in hindsight, because vision is 20/20 in hindsight, I started to see how this one lemon blue toilet seat drama for your mama episode really spoke to how I operated overall. And let me elaborate. When we decide, or when I decide, or when most people rather decide to implement a change, a new process, or what have you, we usually get in there and go full force, don't we? Like the lemon regimen. If I had started slowly and in a more structured manner, I would have had results on a more long-term basis versus, drinking lemon juice every night and resulting in me not being able to sustain that behavior. Now, lucky for me, the side effect was something that was easily fixed. I stopped taking the lemon, or I decreased the frequency in which I take it. Let's talk about how we do the same thing when it comes to exercise. So my doctor told me, I need to make changes, yada, yada, yada. I'm there. I'm like, listen, I've got to move more. I've got to make a conscious effort to move more. That doesn't mean, get up tomorrow morning and say, listen, from now on, 10,000 steps. Boom. That's where I'm at. Could I do it? Yeah, I could do it. I could make 10,000 steps. But the odds of me carrying that long term off the bat, especially when I haven't done 2,000 steps a day for the past 5 years, I'm not saying I did that. It's just an example. But the odds of me carrying that off the bat is much less than if I would have set myself up in a structured way. Start with, okay, for the first 2 weeks, I'll do 5,000 steps, then gradually go up to 10,000 steps. And then I further started to think about, on a big picture, when we talk about setting goals, one of the first things we're advised, be it in our professional life or what have you, is we need to make our goals SMART. And we all know SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, attainable, resourceful, and timely. All great things. You want to make your goal encompass all of those 5 things. Obviously, it needs to be specific because we need to know what the hell we're doing. You need to be able to measure it because you need to know how you're doing. It has to be attainable because, you want to get there. Resourceful, obviously, because you want to be able to do it within your limit. You don't want to put your hat where you can't reach it. And timely, again, because, we want to reach our goal before we expire, obviously. How many times can I say obviously? In creating those goals and following the SMART thought, do we ever stop to think about, are our SMART goals real? And what that means is, can they be sustained in our lives? Can we carry that goal long term in order to reach it? And this kind of stems back to our previous episode where we were talking about the 92% of adults who don't meet their goals. And we can think about how we implement realistic, SMART goals so we can achieve what we feel is success for ourselves. So just some food for thought as we progress forward. My blue toilet seat fiasco mystery ended up making me think deeper about the way I made my goals, the way I am choosing to proceed with implementing this health and wellness regimen, and just overall button up my life as it pertains to me, to ourselves, and to our self capital S. If you have any questions, concerns, or want to email me directly, feel free to do that at Leena, Leena, at abalancedjuggle.com. I also don't want the discussion to stop here. Take it over to the website, abalancedjuggle.com. Check out our blog page. We're going to have show notes after every episode. I want you to chime in. I want you to post your thoughts. And I also want you to weigh in on our debate on whether or not I should do a hashtag ABJ, or as my husband says, ABJ, or not. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening. If so, please share, subscribe, like, and spread the word. A Balanced Juggle. We're here. Again, my name is Leena. I thank you so much for listening. Stay well and stay balanced.